We're holding today the beginning of Perek Chav Gimel. Vim kolanal yuvan v'yivu arheite. But the Sefes Biur with all this what we learn with the Sefes Biur with a greater explanation. Mashamur b'zoyar. What doesn't the zoyar? The Raisen kuchabrichu kulachod. Doesn't the zoyar that the Torah and Hashem it's all one. Petikunim, which is also part of the Zoyar, Pirshum, the Ramach, Pikudim, Inun Ramach, the 248 mitzvahs, they are the 248 the limbs of the king. That means through those mitzvahs will connect to the king. They are the limbs of the king. If you want to have a way to connect to him, that you do mitzvahs. The more you do the mitzvahs, the more you connect to him. That's the avodim the malka. That's the limbs of the king. The fish mitzvahs and pnimius rotzon elyon chefzo hamiti. Amulubash b'chol elomas elyonim v'tachtenim lachayoysom. The mitzvahs are the pnimius rotzon elyon. We mentioned many times. What's the pshat? Pnimius rotzon. There is chitzonius rotzon. There is pnimius rotzon. And everything you have that. For example, I want to go to New York. So in order for me to go to New York, I need to go to the airport to catch a flight to New York. So I have two rotzonos over here. I have one rotzon to go to New York. Then I have another rotzon to go to the airport. The airport, going there, it's called chitzonius rotzon. That is not my main goal. If I would not go to New York, I wouldn't need to go to the airport. I have nothing to do in the airport. The only reason I'm going to the airport is in order to catch a flight to New York. So it comes out, and there's two rotzonos. Again, rotzon to go to the airport, rotzon to go to New York. So the rotzon to go to New York becomes pnimius rotzon. That's my main kavanah. In order to get to New York, I have another rotzon to go to the airport. Same thing in the creation of the world. Hashem created the world. There is in the creation of the world, there is chitzonius rotzon. There is you need to get to the airport. That going to the airport is creation of the world, but that's on its own, just world, just without any mitzvahs, just world. Hashem says, I don't need that world. I have nothing to do with that airport. I don't need the world. What do I need the world for? The world is created as a rotzon Hashem. Hashem created the world as rotzon, but that's only chitzonius rotzon. The pnimius rotzon, the creation of the world, people should makayim mitzvahs over here. That's what they said. The visham mitzvahs and pnimius rotzon ha'elyon. This is the pnimius of rotzon elyon as doing the mitzvah. That's the chefzo amiti, the chefet, the pnimius of rotzon, why he created the world. Yeah, hamulubash b'chol olamas elyonim v'tachtoinim. All the world, the pnimius of rotzon of all the, not only our world, even the olamas of malachim. What Hashem needs malachim? What did it create malach? What did it olam atzilus for? What did it all the olamas? All the olamas are it's revolving around us, and we are here mainly to do the mitzvahs. So that's what it says. The mitzvahs are pnimis. And adrabah, that when we do the mitzvahs, what kikol chayusom v'shipom, the whole chayus and the shefa, all the olamas, including the malachim, the elements of malachim, elements of the netzolim, totally b'maisa mitzvah shel hatachtonim kanoida. When we do mitzvahs, they get chayus over there, because that's the main reason why Hashem created the world. So when we do mitzvahs, they appreciate it because they get more shefa, more chayus over there. There's a famous question: what revolves around what? The sun around the earth around the sun. There's different generations, different things were said about it. I'll be the concept of Inyan. The Rebbe mentioned that according to Einstein, it's very it says it's impossible to prove one way or another, because if two things are revolving around each other, you cannot know what moves around what. But that's not the point. The point the Rebbe said, Al Pi Chassidus al according to the concept, we must say that all the world's revolving around us in this world, around our earth. Why? Because it says we're not created for the sun. We're not created for the moon. We're not created for all the galaxies. They all created for us. And we are here to serve Hashem. So the main part of the creation, the Pnimius Harotzen, it's the Torah mitzvahs. It's us over here. That's why, according to the concept, it says definitely everything is revolving around us. Again, I'm talking about just the concept now. When the mice of the mitzvahs and fulfilling the mitzvahs, it's brought a mashal in Chassidus. Somebody goes to do business and he enjoys it, and he goes to buy, to sell, to trade. So he does everything with the geschmack he has. So what is his rotzen? Right now, the moment he wants to buy this, that's his rotzen, and sell this, to deal with this, he enjoys it. But that's his pnimius rotzen, just to buy and sell. No, he wants to buy and sell to make money. And in that, so the money, making money, it's more pnimius dikarotzen than making the business itself, buying and selling. Because just buying and selling, not making money, that's not what he's doing. It is doing to make money. And even doing money on its own, it's not just pnimius harotzen yet. The ultimate goal is not just to make money. You need to spend the money. You need to enjoy the money. You need to buy stuff with the money. So there's fewer tzoyness over here. But the pnimius harotzen of all the entire world is to do the mitzvahs. That was the pnimius harotzen. When him to shemaisa mitzvahs v'kiyuman, ולבוש הפנימי לפנימיס רצון העליון שממייס הזה נמשך אור וחייס רצון העליון ויסלבש בו אלמויס ולכן נקרואים אבורי דמלכו. That's why the Zohar calls the mitzvahs אבורים דמלכו, the limbs of the king, דרך משל כמו שאבורי גוף האדם הם לבוש לנפשוי ובטלים לגמרי אליה מכל וכל. The limbs are a garment for the neshama, and they completely nullified the neshama. Mikol v'chol, completely. Immediately, when a person wants to stretch his hand or feet, and or his foot, and it doesn't take time. You don't say, I made a decision by the headquarters, which is my mind, to move my hand, and then it will take a few minutes till the command going to come to the hand, and I'll move my hand. No, you immediately move your hand, meaning that the hand is so tuned to your mind, when your mind make a decision to move your hand, it immediately moves it. It shows the level of bittul, nullification, and connection, and how tuned it is to your mind. They right away, the limbs listen to the mind. The mind is the king. Tells you move, sit down, get up. You do it immediately. There's no command. There's no talking to them. You do it immediately. And there's no waiting time. There's no bureaucracy over there. If you decided to move, you move. Yeah? Immediately. You want to do something, you do it. Similarly, Chayus shel Maisa mitzvos v'kiyumam ubot legamre rotzen elyon amlubash boy v'nasel mamshka gufel neshama. When a person does the mitzvahs, in that moment, for example, you're putting tefillin, there is a chayus to that tefillin. Tefillin came from something that there's a life to it that came from the animal, and the person does the mitzvah. He has also chayus. He has life. Only a lively person could do the mitzvahs. God forbid somebody is not alive, he can't do the mitzvahs. So when you do the mitzvahs, the chayus that goes into the smaisa mitzvah, there's an energy goes to it. There's a function of it there, which is it's life. Yeah. At that moment, you completely nullified to the rotzen of Hashem. That again, the rotzen of Hashem and the whole creation was you should do that mitzvah. A melubash boy in that mitzvah right now. There's melubash Ratzon Elyon. Over there you have now the Ratzon Elyon. That's what Ratzon Hashem should do the mitzvah. V'nasel mamash kagufel neshama. It comes out that the Ratzon is the neshama of it, the Ratzon Hashem to do the mitzvah. And when I do the mitzvah, I become like a goof, a body for that neshama. They unite like goof and neshama. וכן, הלבוש החיצון של נפש האלוקית שבאדם, המקיים ועושה המצווה, שהוא כוח ובחינת המעשה שלו. We said already, we have three levushim, we have three garments that they, through them, the neshama could function. That's the three garments of the neshama is machshava, dibur, and ma'aseh, thought, speech, and action. So the levush hachitzoni, the most external and the most physical levush out of the three, it's the action. Because the speech and the thought are more more spiritual, more internal. Even that lower level, that koyach hamaisa, the lower level of garment, yeah. And we explained already in other places. For example, I'll give you the other extreme. The thought is also one of the garments. But it says in Chassidus that the thought is a lot more closer to the neshama than the action. Why? Because the action, sometimes you act, sometimes you don't act. Same thing with the speech. Sometimes you talk, sometimes you don't talk. Es ledaber, es lachshes. Shlomo HaMelech says, time to talk, time to be silent. Thought never stops. From the time the baby is born until 120, a person's mind working never stops. The mind never working. It never stops working. And that's why tonight, when you don't act actively thinking, there's dreams because the mind continues. There's no, God forbid, if the mind stops, that's the end of the person. The person's mind, the reason for it, because the levush hamachshava, it's a lot closer to the neshama. The garment of that, which is the three garments of the neshama. It's only a garment, machshava, but it's a lot closer. That's why it never stops, because it's closer to the neshama. Neshama is alive, and that's acting. So we're saying even levush hachitzon, the lowest and external levush, which is ma'aseh, it's the most farther away from the neshama. It's only levush, it's only a garment. Even then, when you do a mitzvah to your body with the levush hachitzoni, with your ma'aseh. It's also become part of the Maisa mitzvah. Now your Maisa, your body become part of the mitzvah. You become now a body, not stam. You become body for that neshama, the body for the neshama of the mitzvah, the Ratzon Elyon. You become now a vehicle. You become now a garment to bring down to this world. That was the pnimis rasa for the whole creation. The whole creation with this mitzvah. At that moment, when you put tefillin, your garment of maisa, your body, your koyach hamaisa become completely bottled, nullified to the rotzon of Hashem. Legamre. Valken avore gufa ha'odam. Mitzvah. That's why the limbs of the person that does the mitzvah. At that moment, it's being clothed in your asiya, that the godly soul, the kima mitzvah, your body, your energy of your action, the life becomes right now like a chariot to the Ratzon of Hashem. Again, become a vehicle to bring down to Vir Ratzon Hashem, that was again the Pnimius Ratzon of the Bria. That was the main purpose of the creation. You should do the mitzvahs going like Ayada Machalekes Tzedakah. When a person gives tzedakah with his hands, La'aniyim, to the poor people. Or it's a mitzvah chesed, do other mitzvah. But a Galam Malchus Advar mitzvah, you feed walking to do the mitzvah. You're going to shul, you're going to learn, you're going to daven. Something in your mouth, on your tongue. When you speak divrei Torah, now all this physical body that has different garments. One is a more material, more physical, the action. Then there is less physical. The speech, then it's even more. All physical, the whole body, physical body, but that's the thought. If you put all those three garments in kiyum mitzvahs, your mind, think of the Shemaim, or the greatness of Hashem. So all this becomes at that moment when you do it a vehicle to Hashem. You become now a vehicle. You become your body become now holy. Because why you holy? Because you completely bottle to the Ratzon of Hashem, and you become a vehicle to Him. That's what Razal. That's what Chum telling us. The Ovos Henen Amerikov. The Ovos of Reuben and Yaakov. They were a chariot. She called Evoreyem Kulam or Yukdoshim Mubdolim Minyan Elam Haze. Their body, their limbs were completely separated from the Gashmis of Elam Haze, meaning they devoted themselves, not only their mind, not only their neshama, but their body, the mind, the speech, the action, the whole body was completely devoted from and removed from Yana Lamaza, Volanasu Merkova, they became a vehicle, a chariot, Rakal, Rosan, and Levada Kol Yameh. And same thing every Jew, when he does a mitzvah, Avraham, Yaakov, they were a chariot all their life. They got to that level, it was completely tuned to Hashem, nullified to Hashem. They were a vehicle. By us, when we b'shas mitzvah, when we do the mitzvahs, we also become a chariot. Like I said, right now we're learning different pieces, but then when we finish by Perek Chofei, this whole thing, there's one theme over here, and we'll see what he wanted to bring with this. But what we'll learn today is it's the pnimius of Ratzon Elyon, the inner kavana. The main purpose of the creation was not for the world itself. That's chitzonius harotzon. Yeah, this rotzon Hashem create the world, but the pnimius harotzon was the kiyum Torah mitzvahs. And when we do kiyum Torah mitzvahs with our physical body, so we become a vehicle to bring rotzon Hashem over here, and we become that moment. You become like devoted, holy, like the others were merkava. They were holy vehicle to Hashem. So become also that moment of kiyum mitzvahs. We become also holy. Our body, wherever we involve in the kiyum mitzvahs, we become a vehicle to bring rotzon elyon, which is that was the pnimius rotzon of the creation of the world. We should do the mitzvah. Okay. Good night, and Mr. Hashem. We'll see you tomorrow.